Hello everyone. So we're back after a few weeks.
Felt longer.
Yeah. So apologies to all our avid fans. But we thought we'd come back with a bit of a special show as we're coming up to Halloween next week. Basically, when we first started doing this, well, we were just talking about this pre-show, pre-live. One of our most viewed shows was discussing sort of paranormal things, scary things. So obviously you guys enjoyed that, so we thought we'd visit that again this week, coming up to Halloween, and do a little bit of a Halloween special. So yeah, I guess we'll kick things off with sort of the obvious questions. Do you believe in ghosts? Covered this a bit last time. I think it's a bit of a touchy subject for you.
Yeah.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, I do. Unfortunately, I don't know. I think since young, I've always been just freaked out by ghosts. Always think that something is there, or something's watching me, or I just feel something since young. And because my family, my parents are very religious, so it's to think like thinking back to it now, it's kind of embarrassing. Basically, my parents had these friends who were like really devout Buddhists, and it got to a point where I think it was probably before I turned 11, it must have been 10, 11, where I just got so freaked out at night that I couldn't sleep. And it would just make me really upset, or wake up crying, saying, oh, I see ghosts, or, I think there's something in the house. So mom was like, okay, let's bring you to see my friend.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they did. They did some sort of like mini ceremony with me.
An exorcism. It's like
I don't know. Yeah. So, along the lines of that, it wasn't like a full-on exorcism, obviously, but yeah, I don't know what he did, but we went to sort of like a temple thing, and then he just told me to kneel down and like do like this praying thing. And then he just like touched my head. He's like, yeah, go away.
Touch me here and here.
No, man, it wasn't that. I did not get touched up as a kid, okay?
Yeah, just childhood trauma in the podcast.
No. Yeah, so my mum and dad were in the room, mate. So it's all like legit.
Yeah, fine.
Anyways, yeah, so after that sort of thing, nothing really worked. Like I feel like it was more like a psychological thing for my parents to be like, oh, she's seen someone, yeah, she'll be fine now. But at the back of my mind, since young, I've always been like, oh yeah, ghosts exist.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those, if you believe it, it's more likely to.
I know. It's in the head. It's in the head.
I guess it's that what you had was almost half like a placebo effect. It's like you probably temporarily thought, it's like a bit of it's having a massage, isn't it? Yeah, but relief for about an hour.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you walk down the road and lift something up, oh shit, my back's gone again. So one scary little thing happens.
Yeah, exactly. Anything could trigger it, and then your mind starts playing tricks on you. You kind of think, oh, I put something there, but it's moved, and it's probably not moved, or maybe you just your elbow touched it or something. You're like, oh shit, something, it moved by itself, or something moved it. Yeah,
it's a touchy subject. I guess if you just got to be a firm believer, haven't you, really? Because like some people are so skeptical that they'll just be like, nah, there's always an explanation for it.
And I feel like that's just you. You feel like there's always something there, as in like scientific.
I'm pretty open to. I do believe in ghosts, but I've never actually experienced it, so it's kind of hard for me to do it without evidence.
Yeah.
Because I've watched a lot of ghost programs. I mentioned before, I watched a lot of Ghost Adventures. I think it's 23 series of Ghost Adventures. I only know that because I've been watching it like recently, because the latest season just came out. But then loads of shit happens on there. But then obviously it's American, so you don't know if they're exaggerating a bit. But then they do debunk stuff on there. If something like unexplainable does happen, they are like, okay, it could be a bug, it could be some fucking wind blowing something off a table.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. You guess unless you actually experience it firsthand, and it's concrete. It's concrete stuff. It's not like, I don't know. For example, when you said with my parents, when you said to turn the heating on, all the pipes would just start like banging.
Yeah.
And you're like, I know it's just the heating, but it's like, And it's like 3 a.m. at this point, pitch black.
Yeah.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah, not nice. I think we might maybe just let you and me would chat about it before, but like I feel like where I am right now, there is something, because we talked about how kids can see things that we can't see because they're so pure, they're so innocent, nothing has clouded their minds. So they're still sort of like really innocent and stuff. And that's why kids can see certain things that we can't, or animals, for example, dogs can see things that we can't.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that Lara can see something because she's only one, right? She can't talk. And there's times where she's waving. I'm just like,
God.
What are you waving? I look behind. Obviously, no one's there. She's smart, but she's.
Where's she doing that though? In like the living room, kitchen, or?
So we're in the kitchen, so I'm feeding her. So obviously, I have my back. I'm facing her as I feed her, and she'll look behind me and she'll wave, but smiling.
Terrifying.
So I'm just like, I always look behind me. I'm just like, nothing there. She's done it quite a few times now, and there was one time where my dad literally was behind me. I'm like, fuck's sakes, Dad! Like, why are you like tiptoeing? Fuck's sakes! But yeah, I mean, other times there's literally no one behind me. I'm like, so I'm convinced there is something. I mean, it's obviously not bad because she would be crying if she saw something.
Yeah, it's still terrifying though. It's just like,
yeah.
Do you ever feel like a drop in the room temperature? That's like that's like a key sign on Ghost Adventures. Where dude, it's ice cold right there. Like, you feel that? That's what they do. Even though they've got like 1,000 episodes, it's still surprising in itself.
Yeah. What's worse is the temperature drops, but also just you feel like some sort of a wind. Just like
the presence.
Like all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, giving me chills literally. But there's a few nights ago, Lara's sick at the moment, so she's all bunged up and whatnot. So she'll wake up however many times during the night. But there's been times where she woke up at night, and maybe because she's just woken up, she's a bit disorientated. It's like midnight. But sometimes she just wakes up, stands up, and she screams her head off, like she sees something in the room. She's freaking out. It's a different type of scream with babies. Sometimes it's just moaning, but when she's screaming out loud, when you're like, okay, you're freaked out by something.
Yeah, like sometimes you let them cry, you're like, oh, I'll get up in like a minute or so. And then it's like a different tone or pitch, and you're like, fuck, that's went wrong, you've got to peg it in.
Yeah, exactly. So as soon as I ran upstairs to get her, and then she's like, I'm like, what is it? So I'm convinced there is something.
She's like floating halfway in the air. Oh my god. She's got really black eyes.
Oh, fucking hell. And then I think when you talked about it before, like what freaks me out sometimes is the baby monitors. Because we've obviously got one for Mila, we've got one for Lara. So we've got two monitors. So I'm constantly just like looking. But sometimes when Mila moves around a lot when she sleeps, and then you see like a black shadow, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's her head.
Yeah.
Freaks me out, these baby monitors.
I know, they are freaky. Yeah, could you I think I said this on the last scary one. We've got this like a light in our room, Harry's light, and like when it turns off after like 3 hours, and it says in like, it's one of those dodgy sort of Chinese ones.
Yeah.
It's power. But like, we couldn't work out what it was saying for ages because it only catches the off bit on the camera. So it was every time I could work, what the fuck is that? Turns out it's just a fucking light.
Imagine if it kept saying fuck off, fuck off.
Yeah, it's reworded it.
Oh yeah, that's freaky. Do you think do you think Harry can see stuff, or when he was younger, do you think he could see stuff?
I don't know. I don't think so because our building is like a new building, right? So it's like there's no history in this building. There's no life. There's no I don't know. You hear these stories of like, these buildings are built on burial sites, and it's haunted by like soldiers and.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's anything like that in this building. Maybe because your house is. I don't know when your house was built. What, 30s, 40s?
Yeah. Well, this my parents' house it was a new build at the time as well.
Oh right, okay. Maybe it's built on some fucking old land.
Yeah, thank you. Our old house back in Mitcham, it was like in the 1940s.
Yeah.
And it was an old lady that lived there. It was like a terraced house. We were sort of in the middle, and the old lady that used to live there, she died.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was in the home, in the house.
Yeah, you just don't know, do you? You see a lot of houses up for sale and they've got no chain. You like, and you look at the decor, it's old and not been done up
The
for about 30
wallpaper.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, someone's obviously died here. Estate agent would never tell you that, but
No. Oh
I
yeah,
feel
she
like
died peacefully at the hospital. Oh, okay.
she's already dead, mate.
Would you ever? Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say about my. I mentioned it again on the other one about my cousin's old house in South Croydon, and that was haunted by like there was 2 people murdered in the house, like in the 1920s. So how would you even? And so after someone posted a little snippet of a newspaper
Oh
through the door,
yeah. Oh my god.
without any context, don't even know who posted it through. Oh, what the hell?
That's
Like,
creepy.
people standing at the end of the bed and things like that. So that was like definitely haunted. You got to be careful though. When you're buying a house, not in the top of questions. You don't sound like a complete nutcase.
Yeah.
Died in this house.
Yeah, but it's got. Yeah, you got asked though.
Oh, yeah, especially if it's an old house. You kind of just got to accept that it probably had.
Yeah.
We stayed. We went to. I told you last week. We went to Manchester.
Yeah.
We stayed in like an old inn. It was a pub originally. Well, it was an inn where you stay at the pub. But the pub was shut, so it just completely renovated into just a hotel now. But it's proper old school. And you walked in, it was freezing. I'm just like, oh, this place definitely got something going on. In the middle of nowhere as well.
Yeah.
The amount of people that probably travelled through this pub over the years. Definitely some weird shit. But then you kind of just gotta, and the lights go off. Everything is, there's 3 of us in the room, so it's kind of alright. But
yeah.
I don't know. You just kind of put your feet under the duvet. You don't want them hanging out in case something touches your feet or whatever. Ugh, idiot.
That's the thing you reminded me about hotels. Because they say that Chinese people say that the most haunted place is hotels. Because like you said, there's so many people that go in and out, and all this history of all these people that could have killed themselves in the room and whatnot. So they always like, especially in like China and Hong Kong, they're always like at nighttime, remember to turn your like slippers like one facing up, one facing down before you go to bed, and then the ghost won't touch you.
Okay. Good trick, good hack.
So every time, like when I used to travel quite a lot, like when I was working at Kenshu, I'd have to go to hotels. Obviously, I'm on my own, and I constantly just in my head, I'm just like, shit, I'm on my own. I'm in the hotel room, better do the slippers. But obviously, when you're going like Europe, you don't get slippers.
Yeah, true. So you bring your own pair.
It's just like, I hated it. Oh, I hated it.
Again, it all just stems from your beliefs, right? If you believe in it, you're gonna fucking struggle. If you don't, it's like it's not even an issue, right? You stick TV on, whatever, go sleep.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah. That's the thing. I used to turn the TV on all the time just to help me sleep, but sometimes it just all of a sudden it just doesn't. It's just black, and then I realized, okay, the show's actually over, so obviously there's nothing showing.
Yeah, it sounds like it's like seen the film The Ring.
Yes.
So the girl comes out of the fucking TV. It's just the static in the background. It just reminds me of that.
There was The Ring, the Japanese version, wasn't there? And there was like an American version.
Yeah, I think the OG was the Japanese one, right?
Yeah, that was freaky as hell, man.
Yeah.
What I was going to say before, I forgot what I was going to say earlier, but about hotels. But I think you're right about if you believe in something, then your mind will make you believe it even more, no matter how much you try not to believe in it.
Yeah, big time. Because the only reason I really got into that kind of stuff was my granny. She used to video record Most Haunted. You know, with Jack Fielding, the British one. I don't know if you ever watched it.
Oh, God.
But it was shit. It was like, knock 3 times if you're here. Then you just hear it. Do it perfectly. Like, it's bollocks.
With the beat as well.
Yeah. It's like the little drum beat. It came from my granny recording all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it was just... But because of that, it's stuck in my brain now, the little things. And obviously that evolves to wanting to watch better programs like Ghost Adventures where they actually have like this technology where they can map out. It's really weird. They got this thing where like they basically point a camera out to the open room and it'll map a person, like a stick person. So if it hits one of us, it'll show a stick person. It'll align it to my body. And then they'll just be randomly filming out and it'll pick up a person and there won't be anyone there. And they're like, oh, can you like, can you go over here? And he'll do it on command, even though there's nothing there. It's so freaky, man. It's like, I love that shit. Yeah, it's interesting. But then I guess that's just Ghost, right? Ghost is just one small part of Halloween, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got other shit. It's almost like fantasy stuff, like vampires. I mean, do we believe in vampires? I don't.
I don't.
No. Zombies. We obviously love zombies. Yeah, believe in zombies. Yeah. But realistically, zombies aren't real, apart from all the crackers in Croydon. They're as close as you're going to get to zombie.
True. Very true. Yeah. Yeah, that's I feel like that's definitely just what we've grown up to believe, that this is just part of Halloween. It's not real, like vampires. What else is there? Demons.
I think demons kind of fall into the ghost category,
I suppose.
Because
like
I reckon demons do exist. Yeah, it's just evil spirits, isn't it? I don't know. The devil himself exists because it's like the god. It's like God and the devil. It's like that's a religiously thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think, like, evil spirits do exist. Christian's a horrible person, right? They obviously just were a horrible person in real life, so they're going to be a horrible person in the afterlife.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. It was last week. Because with Chinese traditions or just Asian traditions, there's certain like times throughout the year where you have to go to the cemetery to pay your respects to like people that have passed away. So went to cemetery to visit my granddad, and for the first time I brought Mila with me, just because as a baby I never thought bring her, because my gran was always like against that. She's like, oh, she's too young, don't bring her. But now that she's 4 and her cousins have been going quite a few times as well, I finally said to Mila, okay, you can come with me to the cemetery. And she was asking me all these questions, like, what is the cemetery? What's this? And then she was very like quiet at the time. I think she was a little bit overwhelmed by what was going on. We had the incense sticks and then offering of fruit and tea and whatever. And then there was obviously all the graves, one in a row, and some have the photos of the people that have died. So she was just like looking, and the back of my head, I'm just like, what if she can see something and she's not saying anything? But then I thought, oh, she's 4. She would say something if she saw something. Yeah. So she wasn't like freaked out or anything like that. But it's just very interesting to try and explain to a child like heaven and hell, because they're like, oh, what's hell? I'm like, well, and in my head, I'm just like, am I explaining it right? It's like, if you've done something bad or if you're really naughty and you're really evil, then you go to hell. And they're like, so hell's here and heaven's there. I'm like, yeah. So it's weird to explain.
Yeah, it's almost too much to comprehend for a child.
Yeah, it is.
They will know it eventually, obviously, but I don't know. It's not a nice thing to describe, is it?
It's not at all. And I can't explain it because my nephew was like, oh, so what's heaven like? I went, I don't know.
No, I haven't gone. Yeah.
I'm probably going to go to hell.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to explain to kids.
Yeah, because their whole life is good and bad at that age, right? It's like, you're naughty, go on the naughty step. Because like, you don't want them to think, oh, because I'm naughty, I'm going to go to hell. It's in the flame.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll see Satan there. Yeah, so it's a bit extreme, but I think for them, that kids, Halloween's all like fun. There's trick or treating.
Yeah.
But at school, they've been learning about skeleton and stuff. I'm just like, oh, okay. So they know stuff like that. I just think, okay, but they're not freaked out by it. They find it quite fascinating.
I mean, skeletons is like, I don't know, because skeletons are just skeletons, right? You can, that's actually like, if you learn about skeletons, you can have quite a good job off the back of that.
True. That's
Whereas,
true.
like, if they're teaching about make-believe shit, like fucking werewolves and ghosts, ghosts might not be make-believe, but like, you can't teach a subject like that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. That's true.
Yeah, that's funny though. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. I can't remember what I was going to say now.
We're both forgetting what we wanted to say.
Yeah,
this is how long we've not done it.
Yeah, it's mostly skeletons. It jogged my memory about something. I can't remember what I was going to say.
Being a doctor.
No, it wasn't that. But no, Harry. That's it. Because Harry at the moment, every time he's basically watching YouTube, and there's a few Halloween videos come up now. There's like suggestions, and there's a skeleton one comes up. He's like, If he loves it, skeletons. All right,
Yeah.
okay. So this is obviously your thing that you're liking.
Yeah.
But there's loads of other shit as well. It's like werewolves, just now, does not exist.
Yeah.
And the difference between kids Halloween and, like you said, I said it, kids Halloween and adults Halloween is very, very different. Like, because kids are, I don't know what age it ends, because kids Halloween is like you said, trick or treating, doing pumpkin picking and carving,
Yeah.
and just wearing like stupid costumes and that. And then in
Yeah.
the adult one, you get to a point where you're watching films like Kids Saw, really gruesome shit.
Yeah.
And Halloween is about going out dressing or like uni is like dressed in basically nothing, or blokes just wearing stupid costumes, getting absolutely hammered. So it's like we make like a Halloween punch, which is basically just get you fucked. It's like Christmas, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all Santa Claus and presents until you get to like 18, 19, 20, and then it's just about going out.
Yeah. It's all ruined when you get older.
Yeah.
What is your favourite horror or thriller film?
I'm not a huge horror film watcher, just purely because what we were talking about before, I kind of take it on board too much. So when I was younger, I watched a couple of horror films. I think one of them was 13 Ghosts.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
It's basically this guy who owns like a mansion, I think. And in his basement, he's got like 13 ghosts all locked up. And they basically all escape. And they're like fucking crazed ghosts who just kill these people visiting this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so if you watch that when you're younger, like it did me, it messes you up.
Yeah.
You can't forget it. And like, even the subtle ones like Paranormal Activity.
Oh God, yes.
It's the ghost ones that are more relatable because that could actually happen.
Yeah.
Because you don't actually see the ghosts in Paranormal Activity. It's just like it's stuff like I was all caught camera as well. That's why it's stuff like the baby monitor is scary because you don't have camera set up in your house realistically. That's the only one we have. So if you do see something, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't really have a particularly. I used to love 28 Days Later.
Okay.
That was good. That's a zombie film, obviously.
Yeah, that was
again
intense.
that came out years ago. So obviously I was young when that came out. So again, you just put it in your brain like zombies can be a real thing.
Yeah.
But like, if the worst it gets is like COVID, it leaks from a lab. On the film, it's like something leaks from a lab. It's like everyone's bloody half dead. Whereas here, it's like you just get locked down for fucking 3 months. And then Boris Johnson had like a fat.
Yep, the British COVID. Yeah, I think for me definitely was the paranormal. There was like 3 or 4 paranormal activities, weren't there? Like,
yeah.
And the first 2 were enough for me to be like, okay, it's too much. Like, even till now, I remember bits of it, and I watched it probably like 20 years ago. So I just can't remember. I can't forget certain scenes where they're like basically in bed. It's at night. They got the camera on, and then they drag.
Yeah, because it's like still for ages, isn't it? It's just watching them for about a minute, 2 minutes. It's that suspense that just builds up. Oh, it's terrifying.
I just want to piss myself, man. Just think about it now.
Yeah. The latest Saw only came out this year?
Yeah, I know. It's a bit weird.
One, I think. But like, I think the photo, what we call it, promo photo, it's just a guy with like 2 tubes on his eyes staring out into him. Like fucking, I don't even know what they are. They're like, I can't describe it. I started doing that in my eyes. Something like sort of just attached to his eyes. These 2 fucking hamster wheels. You know how hamsters run down those tubes?
Yeah.
Like that. So I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck is going to happen to his eyes. That's acid probably poured down with some weird shit.
But you know what? I'm actually all right with gruesome, gory stuff like that. That doesn't I find that all right, like manageable. But demons, like ghost spirits, anything that I can't see or control, that freaks me out. It's just that you just the unknown. Whereas gory, like Saw stuff, it's a bit like, but I'm alright with it.
It's always horrible because they can't get out of it, and that freaks me out as well. It's like the sense of like almost like claustrophobia a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they literally have a time limit to get out. Oh man.
Yeah, true.
Anxiety
Also, like
for
Squid
the
Game, then, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that's not as gory because that's like an instant death.
Yeah,
Whereas
true.
gore is like a prolonged, sustained fucking.
Yeah.
The opening scene in the very first one, that bloke's like chained up to the.
Yeah, in the bathroom.
He has cut his own fucking ear.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I know.
Squid Game, I guess, modern one, isn't it? But
Yeah. Koreans, man, they're just brutal. If you fail the game, you're dead. It's an instant death. You're right. I remember what I was going to talk about. We were talking about houses earlier, right? Would you ever buy a house next to a cemetery and it was proper dirt cheap?
what are we talking like the garden backs onto it almost, or like? I
Okay,
guess
so
either way,
say
it's pretty bad.
either way, literally next to your house, or even opposite your house. Basically, you can't escape it. It's there. Would you buy the house?
I probably wouldn't. No.
I wouldn't either.
Nah. You just know at night when like I'm just envisioning it, looking out the window at the back, and like you can see the moon shining down, and it's like the whole graveyard's lit up, and you're like,
And they're like waving
yeah,
at you.
like Maureen, ghost of Maureen, and fucking fly.
Yeah, it's weird because like I always, whenever I walk past like near this area and I look at these houses and then there's a church, a lovely church, and then obviously in the church there's like graves and stuff. Still counts as a cemetery, right? So I'm just like, I can't imagine living right next door to it.
There's a few like that, isn't there? There's one by Silence the Roundabout. There's that church with
that
the
one.
graveyard. And then when you go to Croydon, what's it called? It's where we were at my granddad's funeral. It's like Croydon Cemetery.
Oh,
Croydon,
yeah.
There's like a massive graveyard that backs on. You can see people's houses, the gardens back onto it. And like these people's houses are like 2 stories, and you can literally see into that graveyard.
See it. Yeah.
And when you go to when I go to Palace every week, when we used to park up when we were younger, my dad used to park opposite a graveyard, by like Selhurst area. And there's literally a row of houses opposite is the graveyard. Oh fuck that. Yeah, you think about it, no way I could do that. Oh,
I know.
So freaky.
What if you bought a house and obviously at the time there was no cemetery, and then
put one in.
a bit one? Would you move?
Well, I'm not going to sell it, would I?
I mean, surprisingly, you never know. So many people that live next to cemeteries, probably because it's affordable.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because you see them digging the graves and things in the daytime and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess unless it happens, but I probably wouldn't want to stay near there, to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, because it's not a place you go to often anyway. If you if you have someone buried, it's not like you go there every day because you just don't want it because of what it is.
Yeah,
it's like a once in a while thing.
Yeah. What's an undertaker? Would you? Don't you find that undertakers? There's something weird about them.
I think you've got to be a little bit weird, haven't you? I think a lot of undertakers seem to be family-run things. So I feel like people have just been doing it for years and they fall into it because their dad does it or whatever. Yeah. It's not like you optionally choose to be an undertaker unless you're a nutcase. Imagine it pays quite well though.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say it probably pays quite well.
Yeah, you got to be strong to be undertaker as well. Like when we did my granddad's funeral, me and my brother and my 2 cousins lifted the coffin up. My God, it's so heavy, like ridiculous. He was like, "Yeah, just put it on your shoulder." The undertaker guy was like telling us what to do at the start. Yeah, just whack it on my shoulder. I lift it up and put it on your shoulder. Put it on my shoulder. I was like, what? I literally trying not to drop it. I'm not going to drop it.
Oh God.
But luckily we just made it. Me and my cousins and brothers looked at each other like, "Fuck, that was heavy, wasn't it?" Didn't realise it weighed that much.
Was it like a wooden coffin?
Yeah, just wooden. But I think because he was frozen as well, it kind of added to the weight. But, pretty grim, I know. But
yeah, and you're probably thinking, how was the aisle quite big, quite long?
Yeah, I guess it's like 10 rows long, maybe 12.
Yeah. God, the pressure of not dropping.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, because I genuinely don't know what I thought. I thought it'd just be because it's 4 of us lifting. We're quite strong people. It'd be all right. Oh God. word of advice: just get on the weights before you, if you ever have to lift a coffin.
Yeah. Anywho, speaking of coffins, I think there was years and years ago that I used to follow this guy. Not follow, actually. We used to work together, and he moved to Thailand and married like a Thai woman. And then for some reason, he posted a photo of a coffin with her in it, and she was dead. So basically, his girlfriend had passed away for whatever reason, and I was shocked. Like the photo was literally a coffin, the open coffin, and the dead girlfriend was inside. It's like her corpse was inside, and he was taking a video of it. And then in Thailand, that's how they celebrate. I'm just like, I don't want to see, no offense, a corpse in a coffin.
Yeah, was that plastered over Facebook or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a. Fair enough, take photos for yourself if that's part of the culture, isn't it? But
He's a white guy.
Oh right.
He's a white guy that left his wife, moved to Thailand, got with a girl, this Thai girl, and then.
What the hell? That's a bit odd.
It's creepy, isn't it? I just like,
there's no way that's part of his psyche anyway. There's no way he's like fully immersed into that culture enough to want to do that, because you're not brought up that way in England.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
It's all private over here.
Yeah, it should be private. Yeah, he was just. Yeah, I think he was trying to post like a post on Facebook in tribute of her. I'm like, mate, I don't need to see a corpse. Like, no one needs to see it on Facebook. It's just creepy. And the fact that Facebook doesn't ban this sort of stuff. Anyways.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I got a violation notification the other day on Facebook for a post I did back in 2010, and it was my mate lying on the floor after a night out. But it kind of looked like it's fair. It's literally lying on the path on the road, like in Croydon somewhere. It was just being dickheads as you were.
Yeah.
But it kind of looked like it was. Well, the copyright, not copyright. The violation was, this could be construed as someone being dead. I was like, what? I looked at it. I was like, okay, I kind of half see it, but he's literally just a guy laying in the road, pissed up. I'm like, if I'm getting done for that, what the hell is this? Because this guy's photo's gone now.
Exactly. Oh, part of me wants to kind of see if it's still there on his.
You've got to look. Go on.
I mean, it might take a while because this was like years ago. But if I find it, I'll send it. I'll show it to you.
I'm especially just open Facebook and it'll be there. But.
It's creepy. Yeah, no doubt. I have a feeling it's probably still there, but it's just weird. I wouldn't want to do that to my loved one. Like post a picture of the corpse.
Yeah. But why no one want to see that though?
I know.
It's like when people do, RIP granddad, like an Instagram story. Your granddad's not seeing this. No one really cares about it. Do you know what I mean? Just do it. Do it somewhere else, privately. Instagram stories is not the place to do that.
Yeah. No. Speaking of RIP, Matthew Perry.
Oh yeah, shit. I saw that this morning.
What the heck, man? 54 years old.
Well, he's an alcoholic cocaine addict, isn't he? So.
But they say that, it wasn't anything to do with like drugs or booze. He just drowned.
Oh, this hot tub. He drowned in a hot tub.
It looked more like a swimming pool.
He said it was a hot tub, didn't they? But he's obviously... You don't drown unless you've passed out.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
He's obviously passed out from something and just not being able to get up.
Sad, isn't it? It's only 54.
Yeah, that is rip.
Yep, rip. Speaking of celebrities, brings me on to... Obviously, you wouldn't know this celebrity, but she's a Hong Kong actress. I think she must be like mid-60s. So her and her partner, so they never got married. Her partner had cancer. He passed away. This was like 20 years ago. And I think one of her regrets was they never got married. So apparently, the rumor was she had a ceremony to get married to her partner after he died.
What?
Yeah, and it's a big thing, like ghost marriages. It's it is a tradition, I think, in some parts of like China and Hong Kong. So she actually got married to her partner.
How does that work though? You just sort of wheel him in to the altar. Where would they even like?
Well, they hire these like masters to perform a ceremony, and I think they were like, I don't know how it works specifically, but you obviously have his like his date of birth and a photo of him, and I think they do it at the cemetery or in some sort of temple, because it's quite traditional to have like cremation, because obviously there's not much space in Hong Kong to have like full on like massive graves, so it's all like cremation. So they would have his ashes probably in the is it, can I call it ashtrays? Not ashtrays. What is it?
I don't know what it's called.
What's it called? Oh.
The urn. Urn, that's it. Yeah.
Ashtray. Sorry about that. Any disrespect. Yeah, his ashes in an urn, and then they'll perform some sort of ceremony, and that's it. She's married. Wow. I think. I was talking to Sai about it this morning, and he said it's sweet in a way.
Yay! How are you celebrating that?
Yeah.
That's weird though. I don't know how they get divorced. They have to dig him up and then he's actually there.
Probably have another ceremony to have the divorce.
Is that like a legally binding? I don't know. Imagine doing that here. Like,
well, there are a lot of stories on Daily Mail of people marrying a ghost, and then they wanted to divorce the ghost, but the ghost was like, "Oh, I'm not going to let you go," or some shit like that. So, yeah, it's weird. So I was saying this when I was telling him about the story about this Hong Kong actress. He's like, "Oh, that's quite sweet. It's quite romantic." I went, "Is it?" I don't know.
It's weird. It's just I don't know. That's like it reminds me of you seen Black Mirror episode where I think his it's like a couple living together and his partner dies in like a car crash or something. But you can bring her back by like an AI robot thing. Or it's something like that, like her memories, or like it's a chip in her. It's like futuristic. You put a chip in another model of her. But like he regrets it because it's just not the same. It's not. It's just weird and freaky.
They just can't let go, right? Of the dead.
Yeah. But, it's a weird, touchy subject, I guess. Some people are just so in deep.
It's a bit creepy.
I
got sent a few stories. Do you want to hear?
Oh, yeah, let's go for it.
Apparently, again, Hong Kong, obviously, a lot of these. I mean, it depends on whether you believe it or not, right? So. This was based in Hong Kong at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Yep. The tale of the oxtail soup.
Okay.
So they were saying like this creepy tale of the oxtail soup goes a little something like this. Once upon a time, there was a male student who lived on the first floor of a dormitory building at the university. His girlfriend lived on the floor above, and she was basically caring for the boyfriend who was studying really hard every day. The girl would hang a bowl of oxtail soup down from her window to her boyfriend. It's very sweet. However, the two had an argument. And then since then, the boy basically said, "Nah, I don't want the soup." And then the girl was really distraught, and she eventually stopped sending soup to the boyfriend. And then one evening, the boy saw the bowl of oxtail soup dangling outside his window. So he's like, "Oh, cool." So he reached out to get it, and then when he looked into the bowl, there wasn't any soup. It was the head of the girlfriend.
What? The head of the girlfriend?
So apparently the heartbroken girl committed suicide in her dorm room because her boyfriend rejected her.
Well, that doesn't work. How did she put her head on the bowl?
Don't know.
Is this a true story? What is this?
Well, a lot of people are saying it is true.
Really?
But you're right. How does she put a bowl?
Yeah, I think it's fucking bowl. Who's like roping the bowl down the window? A lot of holes in this story already.
It is, isn't it? But I mean, I would believe it. To be honest, I would believe anything. And then there's another one also based in Hong Kong, the University of Hong Kong, and it's about a morgue. I mean, the fact that they said it was a morgue. This was back in the 80s. Some seniors locked a freshman into the morgue of the Faculty of Medicine at the Hong Kong University overnight as a prank. While nobody knew what exactly happened to the freshman while he was in the morgue, the seniors were horrified when they unlocked the morgue the next day. They saw the freshman covered with wounds and bite marks, and he was eating the corpse.
What? Jesus Christ.
It's back in the 80s.
Some sources for these stories.
Yeah, they sent me the articles with him, and I was like, is it true?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stories in Hong Kong where they have like specific ghost radio channels where people like call in and say, like, oh, I just saw this, I just saw that. And a lot of them happens in like the train stations where they see at night, like the ghosts wearing red and just hovering over the train tracks. Like, why would you dial in to talk about it?
Yeah, film it. This is the only issue. Not a lot of it's on camera. It's annoying. And if it is, it's like filmed on a fucking potato or something. Grainy as fuck. It's like rubbish imagery.
And blurred out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if but yeah, it's kind of stems back to again, like you just believe that shit, you're gonna see stuff, aren't you?
Yeah. What would you do if you had a mate, or I won't talk about Harry now. If it was a mate and your mate said, mate, I can see a ghost, help me out. Would you take him seriously?
Yeah, probably would actually. That's because I'm more inclined to believe it than not. Like, if you said that to Cheat, she'd be like, she doesn't believe in ghosts at all. Like, if I put Ghost Adventures on the background, she's looking at it, like, that's so ridiculous, like, so fake, so set up. But no, if someone did say that, I'd be more than willing to help.
You would laugh in her face like, you're cuckoo.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm a bit more open to things. Like, especially, like, you weren't going to say Harry, but if Harry said something like that, like, I can see this, but if he's only like 3 years old saying it, I would, because you see in films all the time, when kids say they've seen something, or like whatever, and then the parents don't believe them. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
What's an American? That's greedy.
Yeah.
Like, just listen to the fucking kid. You can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of got to. I would do it.
Yeah.
What about you? What would you do?
I don't think there's much I would do. I mean, I would try not to make it worse.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. No, I gotta remain calm in these situations, right? Like, it's just a friendly ghost just saying hi.
Casper the friendly ghost.
Yeah, Casper the friendly ghost. Yeah. It's hard, man. I mean, luckily, I'm not experiencing anything like that. But I know my parents have said that they've experienced something like that, paranormal encounters. Yeah,
but again, that's just because they believe it. Like, if you told my dad that, he'd just laugh in your face. He's not gonna believe it. So. Yeah,
true. No, that's true. I think I told you this. There's a Chinese tradition is when, like, your relatives or whoever pass away. And more so in Hong Kong. And Mum used to tell me that when her dad passed away, and they used to live in a flat in Hong Kong, and all of the kids would like go to sleep, and the whole family go to sleep, and they would just like put flour on the floor, like everywhere around the flat, and within the sort of like 7 to 10 days of that person passing away, especially it was my granddad at the time in Hong Kong, they would come back to visit the family, and in the next morning they would see actual footprints, and like no one actually stepped out of their rooms that night because they knew that's the tradition. Like, you would never leave your room. And Mum was like, Dad came back.
Oh my god. What sort of footprints are we talking here?
Actual,
feet.
Yeah, feet. Yeah, and it was very obvious, Mum said. And Mum was quite old back then at the time. And she was like in her 20s, might have been in her 20s. And she said that the feet were directly pointing towards my uncle's bed. because Granddad used to obviously love my uncle.
Yeah.
Also my mum as well, but like, it was quite obvious that the footprints were facing my uncle's bed. So Mum was like, "Oh, you know, he must have just come back just to see the family." And God.
Oh, that's mental. Jesus. I guess you'd be able to tell from like the size of the feet and that sort of jazz.
Yeah, because it was just my nan, my mum, and my uncle living in the flat at the time. So there was no one else, right?
Yeah. I always want to try stuff like that out, just to see, like Ouija boards and stuff like that.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah. It's interesting though. It is interesting. It's just like it's almost like a taboo subject, isn't it?
Yeah.
There clearly is shit out there if you do certain things, but no one's willing to. I guess it's time and effort, money, and being freaked the fuck out, basically.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Full-time ghost hunter. You see the full-time ghost hunter guys are all a bit weird looking, bit kooky.
Yeah.
But then obviously you have to be a little bit. Yeah, you got to be a little bit weird, haven't you?
God, I was holding my breath throughout that. But yeah, that's all the stories I have.
So you like to flicker in a bit.
Fuck off. Yeah. Anyways, happy Halloween, guys.
Yeah, happy Halloween. Yeah, might see watch a scary film later tonight. Just get in the mood.
What are you gonna watch?
I don't know. I'll have a browse on Netflix. There's a few things coming out.
Yeah, a lot have popped out.
Yeah, none that are too weird though. I don't know.
But would you watch it before bed?
No, it'd have to be now. Getting on in like 10 minutes. Calm down a bit.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't watch it before bed. Can't do it.
Oh, no chance. Yeah.
But when I was younger, I would be fine. But I feel like now that I'm older, I'm just such a pussy.
It's just not worth it. Like, it's just not worth the stress that comes with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd just rather watch something a bit more light-hearted.
Yes. Like Friends.
Yeah, she had that on this morning. As soon as I went in there.
Yeah.
Very fitting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Are you doing anything for Halloween with Harry?
Don't think so, because it falls on Tuesday. It's just an awkward day, isn't it? He's got stuff at nursery where he can dress up. Like tomorrow and Tuesday, it's like a dress-up day thing. So that's kind of nice. But no, not really. It's not. He's not old enough to go trick-or-treating. It's cold and it's fucking raining every day. So.
Yeah, man. And it's dark now.
Yeah. Do you take me trick-or-treating?
No. We're gonna do some pumpkin carving later, and that's as Halloween as is gonna get here. Yeah, I just think it's too cold and dark, and I don't want her to get scared.
You've done pumpkin carving before?
No.
Oh, mate, get ready for the smell. You don't realise how much pumpkins smell.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely reek. Did it 2 years ago, first time. I haven't done it since, because I was like, what the fuck is that smell?
Really?
Pumpkin pie and pumpkin all this shit, and you don't realise. You put it in food and it's fine, but if you have it in, you just literally carving a pumpkin out, man. Brace yourself.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Because you're going to have to eat the pumpkin, right? Inside.
Yeah. Put it in like
soup.
Yeah, and just put like potatoes and shit, mix it together. Yeah, enjoy that one.
Thanks.
Just started absolutely hammering down, so fun day.
Yep, it's winter now.
Yeah, it's rain for the next 3 months.
Yep.
Joy.
On that note.
Yeah. Well, that was interesting as always. Halloween stuff is very scary.
It is.
If anyone's had more ghost experiences, please let us know in the comments, and we'll try and broadcast them out. But yeah, we don't know when we'll be back next. But I'm sure it'll be soon. Christmas special.
Could be a Christmas special.
Yeah, it's basically anytime anything big happens.
Yeah.
And that's when we'll probably be out. No, cool. Thanks for listening. We will be back soon. Obviously, as always, see you next Thursday. Happy Halloween.
Bye. Happy Halloween.
Bye.